Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Hearts of Iron 4, where we are playing as the Sublime Ottoman Federation. And things have been happening, quite a few things in fact. Iran has been saber-rattling quite heavily with a bit of a skirmish over this northern peninsula here in Kazab, which was previously owned by Muscat. They lost it to Iran, we took it back from Iran, and we could have given it back to Muscat, but we decided to keep it ourselves, which has made Muscat really distrust us. So we have now got pretty bad relations with them, which is, yeah, just the outcome we needed. We've got troops out and about. We have a couple of soldiers over here, just on the outskirts of Madrid, keeping the pressure on, making sure that they are not being given the opportunity to just, stop and snooze. However, these guys are in serious danger of being cut off. Like this one province, and there's a soldier right there. But we might be able to counterattack and cut this off. Might need to consider that. We've also got some volunteers in the USA, currently securing Arkansas. Having already taken Texas. It does look like the AUS is kind of on their dying days right now, and the borders between us and the CSA are going to start to be consolidated, I think. But we have taken, I would say, sufficient territory now where we can start pumping out sufficient numbers of militia, which can keep the PSA in the war, which is going to be good. Plus, we actually managed to take some land down here, and they have a port in Miami, which means that these guys are being supplied. Brilliant. However, the troops that... Oh no, these are here as well. And they have Boston, which means supplies. Fantastic. And this is pulling a bunch of CSA soldiers away from the front line. So, yeah, lots of positivity right now in the American Civil War. I'm feeling pretty good about that one. There are other conflicts going on around the world. Austria is still beating down on Romania, Serbia, and Greece. So these guys are holding for the moment. What's going to happen when Serbia dies? All three of them are considered majors, and in fact Serbia has already died. So they are going to have to kill Romania and Greece in order to finish this war entirely. And Greece is kind of a tough cookie to crack, so good luck with that. Then what else do we have going on? Right, we have the war over here in India, which has so far been a bit of a snooze fest, without very much going on at all, considering that the war is just over this border at the moment. If the Princely Federation decides to go to war with the Dominion or Baratia, then actually they're already at war with Baratia, then things could mix up and get a little bit more interesting. But at the moment, it's just a watch and wait until stuff happens here. We could actually send some guns to India. We have a bit of a surplus. And India, Dominion of India winning this would be good for us. I'm actually tempted to do that. You know what? Let's do it. Let's just send you 3,000 of those guns. Hopefully you have the convoys to accept. Otherwise, things are looking okay. Things are still a little bit unstable for us within within the Ottoman Empire. We have got, let's see, where's the penalty? Stability of the realm. We are now suffering a minus 8%. We did get that down to 0 at one point, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was when it was like minus 26%. So things have stabilized a little bit. We are getting some parliamentary support, which is actually... I totally forgot that this results in higher stability. We had a coup. We overcame the coup because of our valorous heir coming back and winning this. Demobilizing. Oh, because war support's gone low enough. I don't want to do that. How much do we need? It's not going to tell us. Must have maintained at least 15% war support, and because we've had so many clashes and skirmishes, our war support is just getting absolutely tanked, even though there's 57% world tension. Oof. Did you miss the tournament stream? Thought that action would start about now. Tournament stream was just too unstable, so I had to stop and do single player instead. I thought the game had been scrapped for today. They decided to keep on trying. Apparently it's been up and down. I did pop into Mr. James's chat for just a little bit, and it's still been super unstable. And with the number of people I had watching, I just couldn't sit in a lobby all day. I had to go and do something else. Tournament stream was as stable as the Weimar Republic. There you go. Too slow for my liking. Well, we did spend 2 hours and 20 minutes, the majority of the 2 hours and 20 minutes that we stuck with it, in the lobby. And that ain't good viewing. So I decided I would just go back to the single player. Unfortunately, it just wasn't up enough. Right. We do still have air forces out abroad. In fact, the US Air Force is probably in the wrong place. Oh no, they're in Texas. But we're now in the Deep South. Are we in the Deep? Yeah, we're in the Deep South. So we should probably reposition to that. And there are actually too many aircraft, so I'm going to have to get rid of. Oh no, we've got 22. It's fine. We lost enough. Let's just drop you one more so that that doesn't get replaced. And then we also have our Western Iberia fighter wing. We can have 22 aircraft. We've currently got 22 aircraft. Alright, that's all good. And these guys are still fighting for their lives in Western Iberia. We are pretty heavily outnumbered in the skies though, so we are kind of trying to maintain control of that. We are pushing back the CNTFAI, sorry, not CSA, that's on the other side. And securing more territory on Burgos and Bilbao. We are also just taking Badajoz, which is nice. And we are continuing to keep pressure on Madrid, though we're winning over here and kind of losing ground over here. And then these two are just still swapping territory. So between these two, I'd say it's fairly equal. I would say that we are winning, but it's costly. And India's accepted the Lend-Lease. Now, actually, that's a good point. How much manpower do you still have? You've still got a fair amount, so I could send you guns. And I feel like we're getting pretty invested in this fight. So we'll send you the other 633 of the old school weaponry. Don-Cuban Union's gone, so Russia has expanded again. And they've accepted our Lend-Lease. Alright, cool. Let's see if I can cut that off. No! You're letting them across the river again! Oh no, they're trying to cross the river. It's plains, but it's a river crossing, so we should be able to hold on to that. It's just a question as to whether you can hold on to this. You have back... Oh no, you're still leaving gaps. Can you stop doing that? It's terrifying. Let's see if we can take Toledo. Make a bit of a comeback down here. Not convinced. There we go. That we can do. And that'll actually cut these guys off, which would be even better for us. Okay, let's do that. Meanwhile, in India, nothing's happening. Cool. And you're trying an attack. You're actually going to get a promotion soon, which would be nice. Meanwhile, in the mountains. Hey, Marshall. Oh, it's a surprise stream. Well, I did say after the multiplayer stream didn't work that I would come back. And hey, I'm back! Oh, no, keep going. I'm just trying to set up some lines so that you can have some planning preparation happening. Because you're completely out, which is unacceptable. Units to deploy. Oh, excellent. Okay. So we can now deploy these guys. Now, we are no longer saber-rattling against Iran. So I feel like we're probably okay to start you training again. Everyone else is still fine. And we finished our 100 convoys. Okay, so let's switch to something else. Let's first of all sort out what we can actually build. We could get improved submarines. And we did say that we were probably going to do that. In fact, we could also get improved destroyers. We even have interwar heavy ships. You know what? I'm going to design a submarine. Which is going to look like this. And this is going to be named... after a subscriber. Seeing as I haven't had an opportunity to name anything after a subscriber yet in this series, so this is going to be the tank stocks. Save. And we're going to start building those. Keep doing it automatically, that's fine. We do need more steel, but I think most of that's going to be invested in shipbuilding, and I don't really care about high efficiency on that just yet. So we'll continue doing that. The Fifth Zhili-Fentian War. Fentians declared war on Qing. Tensions in China have remained high since I found a hair in my mouth. Since 1927, when the German intervention brought the 20-year conflict between the various factions to a temporary standstill. Over the last decade, however, both the Fentian government in Manchuria and the Zhili government in Beijing have consolidated and built their forces. The stage is set for the most dramatic confrontation in 10 years. Whichever side emerges victorious, however, will not be alone. Japan and Germany still loom large over the region, as the land of the rising sun greedily eyes Germany's possessions in the Pacific, and the victor of this war will no doubt have a part to play in the conflict as well. The battle begins. Naming ships, something I've always wanted to do but forget to do. Difficult to do in multiplayer. Yeah, multiplayer, like, all bets are off when it comes to naming stuff. I'm going to name things the most useful name that I can come up with, like Sub T2 would be my improved submarine. Or Destroyer ASW, or Destroyer Escort, or Destroyer Screen. Tibet has capitulated. Mustafa Mughali has fallen ill. Where were you? There. So you're my Spanish operative. We could try to push out. That is actually just a militia guy there. And we'll let these guys kill him. You know what? Keep pushing that way. Actually, no, don't. Oh, you're ill, so I can't do the staff office plan. How long are you out for? It's like 30 days, isn't it? Yep. Alright, in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you stand there and provoke Madrid. Alright, this is now secure. There's not just a single province holding everything back. Alright, the Ottoman Gendarmerie has been successfully reformed. After the abolition of the Janissary Corps in the early 19th century, a variety of military organizations were established to ensure order and stability in the provinces of Rumelia and Anatolia. With the proclamation of the Tanzimat reforms in 1839, these organizations were combined into the Jandarma, the Ottoman Gendarmerie. Serving with distinction in Rumelia after the 1908 revolution on the battlefields of Anatolia during the Weltkrieg, the by then rebranded Jandarma Kumandagligi, the Gendarmerie General Command had proven its worth and was drastically expanded in the various Arab and Kurdish provinces. One of the issues this has brought with it, however, is a general complaint from many of the non-Turkish citizens, was that the Gendarmerie, especially in higher positions, was almost solely recruited from Turkish citizens, and as such couldn't be counted upon for non-discriminatory organisation. To solve this issue, the HIF has tabled a proposition to revise recruitment standards and to utilise more Arab manpower in the Corps. This has led to protests from the Turkish nationalists who see this as loosening of the standards as a liability and a potential threat to the security of the Arab vilayets should revolts escalate. So we need a thorough reform, which will cost us political power, but will make social liberal more popular, will also give us a bunch of Arab nationalists, but will cost us Turkish nationalists. And right now, the Arab nationalists are actually fully supportive of us, whereas the Turkish nationalists are almost overwhelmingly not supportive. But we can enforce the Ottomanish administration, which will drop a bunch of Arab nationalists, which we could then get back again with this reformation. So I would do that and then do this. And that would basically status quo, but it would gain us a net gain of Turkish nationalists, because we gained 60 from this. Or we can appoint some token Arabs and leave the rest as is. Bearing in mind, we do have a decentralized army. We voted through a decentralized command structure, I believe, when we had that vote. So the high command are a mixture. And this is basically saying, okay, so what about the rank and file? Do we want to have just Turkish troops in the rank and file? Or do we want to let every man possible die for the Ottomans as well, not just the Turks? So, here we go for the first poll of this session. Reforms. This is going to be thorough reform. which is allowing everyone to join. Or token Arabs. Alright, and vote. Get your votes in. What should we do? Should we allow everyone to join the Ottoman army? Or should we restrict this to just the Turks? Every man a soldier. There you go. Just to check, there's a black bar on the left side of the screen. There it is. I'm not seeing it. Might just be the green screen. Oh, over there. Oh, I see what you mean. No, it wasn't green screen. Yeah, okay. Boop. It was a capture window thing. That's been there for like 4 hours. Oh well. Yeah, that's when I accidentally grabbed the game screen when I was trying to move something else around. So this system completely replaces the previous Ottoman system as the OHS or whatever it's called with parties. Yep. We don't have the ability to core provinces anymore. Everything is as it was when these guys took over, but we instead have the system of delegates, which does result in the parliamentary support mechanics, which basically you're trading core territories for stability. Okay, so the vote is in, and 93% of you, leaving only 7% of you opposed to this, are going for the thorough reform. So we're going to do that. We are doing the Ottomanization first. Boop. And then we're doing that. Boop. So the Arab nationalists are fully in support again. The Conservatives hate our guts, and we now have 107 out of the Turkish nationalists on our side. As part of the reforms introduced after the Welsh Creek, the Arab language was raised in status and became the official second language of many government and administrative levels. Although the upper levels of such parliament were still dictated by the Ottomanish only, as prescribed by the constitution, the large number of Arab deputies has in recent times given rise to a rising degree of Arab conversing within the administration. The Turkish nationalists, greatly angered by this breach of protocol and fearing a nearing domination of the Arab language in the empire if no harsh measures are taken, have entered a proposal in parliament which will enforce the language article of the constitution, and which will make the use of Ottomanish obligatory at all levels above the municipal council. So we're centralizing language, but the actual politicization is still decentralized. I'm okay with that. Like, as long as everyone can understand each other and make their arguments in a singular language, I think that's okay. And this has also given us a massive boost in the house support too, which is nice. Okay. Oh, this would actually gain us a bunch of war support. No, it wouldn't. Yes, it would. 10%. Ah, that's enough. So we can do interventionism in the Middle East. This will give us 10% more support. This will also change us from volunteer only to limited conscription, which is going to give us more manpower. Not that we really need it, but hey, I'll take it. And oh, this was the Unification War earlier, so we can't do that anymore. This would allow me to annex Muscat. Oh, only if Iran and Egypt don't exist. So we can't do those until later. But I still think that interventionism in the Middle East might be useful, because I don't really see another way of increasing our war support to offset this. And I definitely don't want to demobilize. Carved up by the British hawks and Arab warlords, our subjects on the Arab Peninsula have long been drifting apart from us, and have established their own spheres of influence, running counter to our interests. As it befalls the Caliph of all of Islam, however, it is our duty to protect the safety of the Muslim people, and free them from foreign, non-Turkish meddling. Okay, and all of the railways finished. That's good. So if we're expecting military action to occur here at some point, which we're expecting military action to occur here at some point, I want to increase this supply so that we can have more supply throughput. And also, do we have... We already have level 4, all of that. Let's go to level 4 here as well, because I think that's going to result in more factories ultimately. Because, yeah, we are getting more factories here. Oh, in fact, we have more factory potential overall, because everywhere was raised to Vilayet status. So the number of factories available has increased. foreign non-Turkish meddling. Yeah, I saw the wording of that. I took note. And then I nodded appropriately. Okay, so we are still pushing south along there. They've actually come across the river here, which is a bit annoying. But it does look like our other positions are going to hold firm. Meanwhile, in Spain, that cavalryman's leaving Madrid, which seems silly. This guy is attacking, so we can't move someone immediately. But we can... Oh! CNT FAI is coming in behind Madrid. Is this the fall of the kingdom? Russia and Finland have ended their hostilities. Oh, somebody was saying that Finland was allied to Germany, so the war between Germany and Russia had already started. I don't think that Finland was allied to Germany. No, they weren't. They usually aren't at this stage. Technology, aha, dive bombing. Give me some more air support, please. Thank you. Education of the gendarme. Throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, the exact status of the gendarmerie has often been changed, with the last decree dating back to 1909 when the organisation was put under the authority of the Ministry of War. Recognising their tremendous success, the Corps was massively expanded under the Kemalist regime, but retained its close ties to the military, which made many of their then opposition believe that as long as the two remained united, the Corps wouldn't have an unbiased stance. A proposal, put forward in 1935, in which their education would be integrated with the War Academy, was just barely refused, but shows once more the intentions of the OFH to create a monopoly on security and defence loyal to their cause. To solve this potential threat, the Grand Vizier has proposed the gendarmerie be detached from the military of war, and brought under the Ministry of the Interior, and their training done separate from the main Ottoman army. Furthermore, he proposes the creation of the academies in Beirut, Baghdad, Aleppo, in an attempt to incorporate more Arabs into the Corps. So the proposal passes, which will mean that we have, again, more of a decentralized police force, which is now separated out from the army as a whole, which I think would be a good thing, because concentrating too much military force in the hands of those that just tried to coup us, probably not a good idea. Or we could just say this is a terrible idea, and have potential coup attempts again. So, what do we think? Passes, or foolish idea? And vote! Get your votes in! Which one are we gonna say? Our feeble democracy just survived a coup earlier. Yeah, exactly. That was actually because of the loyalty of the army. And all of the political power I was hoping to have in the run-up to the election. It's just not going to happen. How's our democracy looking now? We're at 38% social liberal. That just gets smaller and smaller. 10% market liberal, 20% social, and then all of these are growing except for the authoritarian democrat, which is losing ground rapidly. And with it, the last vestiges of German influence in our country. Those German snakes sponsoring the coup as they did. Okay, foolish idea. 0%. We have a new record. 100% of you said that the education of the gendarme should pass. So yeah, I think it's going to pass. Just a bit of a feeling I have. Fall of Madrid. Yeah, it did. You know who did it? We did it. We did it. Reports from Madrid confirm the Spanish city has been captured by advancing Ottoman troops after long merciless fighting through the... No, there wasn't. There was nobody here. That's not true. We did fight for Madrid really quite bitterly previously. Spanish forces put up a stiff resistance, hoping to delay the Ottoman forces for as long as possible, but were eventually beaten back. Official reports indicate the thorough looting has been widespread. Monuments and noteworthy buildings have been entirely spared. Oh, that thorough looting has been widespread. Monuments and noteworthy buildings have been entirely spared. With the fall of their capital, it is expected the Kingdom of Spain to surrender soon, despite calls for merciless resistance from the Spanish generals. Of course, we don't want to harm this good old-fashioned Moorish city. Restore Granada! The Caliphate of Cordoba shall rise again. Actually, it would be an emirate. We're the Caliphate. Hey, just got Bosporus DLC. After I start the game, there is no content in the game. I mean, Turkey have no unique focus tree. Anyone know what could be the problem? Restart Steam. Make sure it's actually downloaded Bosporus. And then, yeah, make sure you have all the DLCs enabled, though that is usually done by default. This is so decentralized. Provinces have so much autonomy. I'm impressed this is a federation, not separate countries pretending to be loyal. I mean, they still believe in the central federal government. I'm just watching this guy because I'm getting a little bit nervous about him dying. And then us just getting surrounded in Madrid. Although it is a supply source. So it's not necessarily the end of the world if we do get surrounded here. And I'm pretty confident that we could hold out here virtually indefinitely. Especially if we're given some time to entrench. And they're going to be constantly trying to attack me, though this could also lead to the end of my Mountaineer division. Sichuan declared war on Qing, so more people are jumping on the Qing bandwagon. How are you doing? You are still getting stronger. You're about to give up your attack, and then at that point, you're going to regain an organization, and they'll never push it again. Okay, I'm feeling good about this. We are being attacked by a lot of people here, though. Whoa, look at the skills on this guy. Field Marshal Camilo Alonso Vega. Level 6 commander. Well, our level 2 can definitely learn a thing or two from him. Reinforcements have arrived. And with it, the excellent Carlist general coming in to lead the battle. Give us a little bit of a military education. Idris returns to the throne. Exiled prince of the Senussi order, Idris I has returned from his self-imposed exile in Cairo. His nephew, Al-Zabir bin Ahmad as-Sharif, has been forced to resign. All remaining Ottoman observers have been kicked out of Cyrenaica. Their new leader has also decided to move his capital closer to the Egyptian border, a clear sign of his anti-Ottoman ambitions. The city of Garabub, which was transferred to Cyrenaica at the end of the war, was now being decreed the official capital of Cyrenaica. The spiritual centre of the order, which is home to the main educational facilities and is forbidden to all non-Muslims, lies deep within the desert and will make it especially hard for any Ottoman intervention to occur. So we can put down the order, which will immediately have us declare war on Cyrenaica. Or we can say we'll bide our time. 10 Arab nationalists will join the opposition. And they just get independence. And then they join the Cairo Pact. So, Cyrenaica, which is this guy. Do we want to fight them? And then have a bit more of Libya in our probable war against Egypt. Because there's definitely a bit of a wrangling going on there. They could still possibly be given entry to Egypt. And this is going to cost us all of our political power and also all of our war support. At which point... Oh no, if we're at war, this will be aborted. Okay, so that will automatically abort that. So, Cyrenaica. Put them down. Or bide our time. What do you think we should do? We do actually have a couple of days to respond to this, so we could put some troops in position. Rather than immediately just going, yeah, we'll fight them. With no one over there. But get your votes in. The vote is up. And you should definitely vote. It is your democratic right. Hard-earned. Defended through numerous coups and things like that to get these votes in. So you should definitely do that. So vote, vote, vote.